Some of you guys have asked me why I don't talk about Omega's dive watches. Well, let's change that. These are the new Omega Planet Ocean World Timers in black ceramic, and they're not as big as I expected them to be. The Planet Ocean was first released in 2005, making this year its 25th anniversary. The PO was always a bit more experimental when compared to the Seamaster 300M, but these are by far the coolest models, in my opinion, because it takes Omega's World Timer complication, which we had previously seen on a relatively more dressy Aquaterra, and incorporated it in this very rugged, high-tech Planet Ocean, giving us these two new variations, one in this stealthy monochromatic gray and the other in turquoise and black. The turquoise is definitely a bit more playful, a bit more electric, but the gray version is so damn cool and stealthy. Personally, in some of the wrist shots I took, the gray version just looks a little bit more compact. This is just an optical illusion, but just something to keep in mind. Both of these watches are exactly the same except for the colorway, and also the choice of lume used on the dial. The Planet Ocean World Timer comes in a 45.5mm black ceramic case with a thickness of 17.4mm, a lug width of 51.4mm, and a lug width of 22. You get a dome sapphire crystal on top with anti-reflective treatment on both sides, 600 meters of water resistance with a ceramic screw-down crown, and a ceramic helium escape valve at the 10 o'clock position. And you have a unidirectional ceramic bezel with a grainy textured backdrop and elevated polished markers and numerals on the bezel. Now this bezel is incredibly easy to grip, and rotating it is a breeze. Both key elements in a purpose-built dive watch such as this. Just listen. I was genuinely surprised when I tried it on. On my smaller than average wrist size of 6.2 inches, there still wasn't any overhang because of the compact twisted lyre lugs. And the thickness is camouflaged by the stepped side profile, but apart from that, if you're wearing a jacket or an overshirt like this, the sleeves do help to kind of shave off that thickness. All I can say is that I was genuinely skeptical when I read the numbers on the spec sheet, but now I see that Omega knew what they were doing. In most cases, this will be used as a desk diver, but in its intended setting, which is a lot more sporty and casual, the proportions just work. Now, Omega has been using ceramic for decades, and the ceramic case they've used here has gone through extreme tests to ensure that it can take some serious beating. It's definitely not indestructible, but if you just drop it from here, it's not going to shatter. In fact, I was also assured by the brand that even if the case shatters due to abnormally heavy impact, they'll cover it under its 5-year warranty under accidental damage. Now, before you jump off a plane wearing this watch, just make sure to clarify the specifics. The ceramic used in modern Omegas isn't the same as it was 10 years ago. The process of developing it has significantly improved to ensure lifelong durability. And now it's not only highly scratch resistant, but highly robust as well. This was something I really emphasized. I spent about 20 minutes just talking about ceramic and their use of ceramic instead of, let's say, titanium. And they ensured me that all of these things were thought about when developing this highly capable sports watch. While the dial has a lot going on, the brilliance of it is that the world map is so centric and focused that it doesn't affect the overall legibility. You get a matte black backdrop with a textured honeycomb pattern with a grade 5 titanium centerpiece displaying a laser ablated and varnished world map. And right outside the centerpiece is a rotating 24-hour display with both the day and night indicator. At the periphery of the dial, you have various cities that you can align with the 24-hour display for a second time zone. And of course, the date window at 6 just blends in seamlessly without interrupting the dial's symmetry. Now, the lume is hot on these watches. This is one of those cases where Omega has taken a boring technical thing and made it into a design characteristic that is essential to the watch's identity. The turquoise version gets a more conventional white lume paint, but matching the stealthy tone of the watch, the gray Planet Ocean World Timer gets a newly developed gray colored superluminova, which adds to the stealthiness without compromising on functionality. It's far easier to slap a GMT hand on a watch. Of course, you have to make modifications to the movement, but as a watch, that's much easier to do than to create something as busy and as complex as a world timer because there are so many more things that can go wrong. And the way I look at this watch is that it's not a world timer with a dive function, but it's a dive watch that has a world time function, meaning that there's no compromise when it comes to its ability to be a proper sports watch. Inside the watch beats the automatic in-house caliber 8938, running at a frequency of 25,200 vibrations per hour and 60 hours of power reserve with a dual barrel system. The case pack now features a Naiad lock, which ensures that the orientation of the engraved text is always correct. This is a very industrialized caliber with decent finishing and incredible performance. You've got rhodium finish rotor and bridges, as well as Geneva waves in arabesque, along with blacked out screws, barrels, and balance wheel. The caliber is META certified, ensuring consistent accuracy of 0 to plus 5 seconds per day and incredible anti-magnetism of 15,000 Gauss. This is a rugged, beefy sports watch, so naturally the strap has to hold its weight and size. And that's exactly what Omega has delivered here. You get a soft yet sturdy rubber strap with a sailcloth texture on the upper side, with curved end links that integrate seamlessly with the watch and just hugs your wrist. With most ceramic watches, you'll see either a DLC or PVD coated steel clasp, but here you get a ceramic and titanium clasp, again proving how confident the brand is with their use of ceramic in their tool watches. Now, this is the part where I usually say, oh, it's good, but I wish it was a bit smaller and open up to a lot more customers. I'm not going to say that here because it's such a good watch. Like, I typically don't go over 40. 40 is like my limit, and I make exceptions with like 41 or 42 millimeter watches. So I had no expectations. When you read the specs and you look at the pictures, that's one thing. But when you try it on your own wrist and you start to imagine how it would suit your own lifestyle, that's where the numbers just disappear. You either love it or you don't. I would say just ignore the dimensions. Don't be afraid of the thickness. Don't be afraid of the larger case. Go to your boutique and just try it on for yourself. Just see how it feels, how it wears, how it sits on your wrist. But what do you think of both of these watches? Which one would you go for if you had to pick one? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.